Joining us now, Sriram Khattar. He's, of course, in charge of the commercial real estate portfolio, including malls and offices at the Realty Giant. Mr. Khattar, good morning. Nayantara here. Very hot stock. We're seeing the entire property market's revival being talked about a lot at the moment. We want to get to today on the channel to also talk about the other big theme, the reopening trade. You're seeing blockbuster moves on stocks like PVR as well as Inox Leisure today, but DLF also stands to gain. Large owner as far as shopping malls go, commercial spaces go. Tell us a little bit about are people coming back to malls, and then we'll talk about the office space.
Yes, people are coming back to malls. In fact, very pleasantly, after the second wave, we have reached a level of footfalls in about 8 weeks, which took nearly 6 to 7 months after the first wave. So people are coming back very strongly. And I think this is because of 2, 3 reasons. One, people are getting vaccinated and therefore they're getting much more comfortable. People realize that they have to take their social distancing seriously and they wear masks and sanitize their hands, etc. The malls tend to ensure that these things happen all the times. The malls tend to ensure that the social distancing is maintained. And we opened the malls with all our employees, the employees of all the retailers vaccinated, and that acted to the safety comfort of the footfalls. We also believe that malls are much more safer than certain high streets where there is absolutely no discipline in terms of the crowding that takes place. And people, therefore, are feeling much more comfortable coming back.
Okay, so people are coming back to the shopping malls. You've hit footfalls of pre-COVID levels in a matter of days, not months, like we saw after the first wave. Sriram Khattar, if there is so much confidence to go shopping, to go to restaurants, to take off your mask and eat in public, what about offices? There's been a lot of chatter about is the future of the office hybrid, but as the owner of such a large office space, you're the dominant player in Gurgaon as well. If you look at Cyber City, Horizon, all of that. What is it looking like? Are corporates coming back to work?
Yes, they are. Cyber City footfalls, the office tours footfalls has now come to between 20 to 25%. And as I talk to the leadership teams of various multinational companies, they are slowly putting in their protocols and gathering the confidence for people to come back. We, on our part, have done a lot and have kept our tenants fully informed and advised. For example, we have improved the internal ventilation by changing the MERV filters in our air handling units. We have 3,000 air handling units across all our commercial buildings in the country. And all the filters there have been changed from MERV 8 to MERV 14. The American Air Conditioning Association prescribes MERV 13, but we went a step ahead. And now our technical teams are working hard to see that we are able to increase the number of air changes per hour within the buildings that are there. In addition, we put very strong protocols for safety. But I think equally important is the fact that the employees of the tenants are feeling much more comfortable, wanting to come back because of the vaccination drive and the excellent job the Government of India has done over the last few months. We also believe that work from home is a very good or was a very good temporary solution, but it's not a solution for the future. We are all social beings and interacting and collaborating is ingrained in us. And I think offices will come back to their full glory in the next few quarters. Nayantara?
Sriram, we already know how residential sales across the country have been perking up. Right. You know how residential sales, of course, have done very well across the country. Just wanted to get a sense on what's been your observation when it comes to rental negotiation trends, or for that matter, renegotiation trends, and especially when it comes to commercial real estate, how are the trends panning out there?
Yeah. The trends are really into two buckets, if I may say. So one is a minority set of tenants who would be always looking for a deal. and they would probably use the current situation to try and renegotiate rentals for a longish period of time. And whilst occasionally we do it, keeping the relationship in mind, but it is not a norm that we do. The tenants who are serious tenants and say IT captives, the new age e-commerce companies, the large IT and ITES companies are negotiating, but at a marginal level. It is not that they are negotiating uh, irrationally. Uh, I think whilst the rents have been stable in distinction to earlier when the rents used to tend to go up every year, I believe the rents will continue to be stable for the next quarter or two. And after that, I see a little marginal upswing in the rentals.
That's quite interesting. What about online retail players? Considering in the times of the pandemic, just everything has happened online. And given what you highlighted about footfall in malls, while it may be a temporary phenomena, I just wanted to understand what is your own observation on whether or not you're having to offer more deals to try and generate more footfalls to malls. And has there been a massive shift that you've seen wherein customers have moved to online platforms for their shopping experiences?
Okay, let me tell you what happened after the first wave very quickly, and then what's happening after the second wave. During the first wave and after that, when there were hesitancy to get out of the houses or the residences, online sales did pick up. But online sales picked up more at the non-discretionary essential items like food, very basic apparel, etc. And people at that time also were missing experiential shopping. Now, after the second wave, we have not, during the second wave, we did not see a spurt in online shopping. People, the surveys are showing that people are going online, but ultimately they are coming back to offline stores to get a feel of the product and to understand the product much more before they buy it. So online, as it was earlier, will continue to be for non-experienced commoditized items, whereas experiential shopping will always be offline. And we continue to, improve ourselves in terms of the experiences that we give the footfalls and the people who come to our malls. And we'll believe that we will continue to see a growth in this. This has also been aided by the fact that foreign travel has been rather restricted. So international brands have done extremely well here because people cannot travel abroad and therefore they have to shop in the Indian offline markets. The Indian fashion brands have been a little slow, but I believe with the festive season coming up, that too should pick up.
Mr. Khattar, trying to get a sense as to the pipeline that you have in terms of mall launches. You've got a sizable land bank, and I'm guessing that the pandemic would have put some of those plans on hold. So what proportion of the land bank can we expect will be driven towards mall expansion or the expansion of your network? And what key areas are you looking to develop in?
Yeah, so it's not possible to look at a percentage of land bank going into retail. It's always a question of strategically what's the best geographic location where you can get the footfalls. We are very aggressively, we use the second wave to strategize our growth. And while I'm not at liberty to share the details, but I believe that in the next few years, you will see a fair amount of growth happening in the retail business. It will predominantly be in the NCR region, and it could also be in some of the other areas where we have the land banks.
Talk to us about the operational costs. I would think that the safety features and all of that have been put in place during the course of the last several months, they would have added to the cost, right? And you anticipate, of course, that the lease will go up over the course of the next few quarters, perhaps. But is that something that you have to bear right now? Do you see that as a new normal?
Uh, well, it's the reverse. We, over the last 4 5 years, have been doing a lot in terms of energy conservation, and all our commercial buildings and malls are LEED Platinum rated by the US Green Business Council. We've been very hawkish in terms of trying to control the cost without in any way diluting the experience of the people who come to offices or the footfalls. And that trend has continued during the pandemic period. We believe that our costs will not go up, but within those costs, we will be able to provide the incremental safety features that need to be provided for the office goers and the footfalls. In fact, we are probably the only company which has a very open book system of operating cost, and we give audited certificates for those. And our tenants are very happy with what we do, and there have not been any negotiations on that at all. They know it's an open book and it's a pass through, and they have comfort in that.
Mr. Khattar, absolute pleasure speaking with you and wish you all the best for the remainder of this financial year as well.